Okay, I hope that you are strapped in for this one because this is going to be a long video. We have gotten all the way A, B, C, D, all the way through the L's. Today we are doing the M's, and I have a lot of M's. So I'm excited. I'm excited to talk to you about them, but it's going to take us a bit. Okay? So let's start with Madonna, True Blue. Okay, my mom got this at like a yard sale or an estate sale. The sleeve is awful. It looks terrible. It's suffered some water damage. The LP itself and the inserts in the LP have, or the inserts in the sleeve have again some water damage, but the LP itself plays perfectly. And here's the thing, and I listened to it to double check it. It is just black vinyl. But here's the thing: this album, True Blue, is an album that has some of my favorite Madonna songs on it. It's got Papa Don't Preach, it's got Open Your Heart, and of course it's got True Blue, it's got La Isla Bonita. Those are some great tracks. So Madonna, True Blue. Pretty stoked on that one. All right, next one. We've got, oh, that's two. Sorry, sneak peek. Next one, we got Bob Marley Legend. It's a must-have, right? Some of the greatest hits of Bob Marley. You gotta love some reggae. Gotta love Bob Marley. We got it on a gold pressing. I'm pretty sure I picked this up at Target. And I will say, like, as far as like buying records, I have bought records from Target, from Walmart, from Amazon, from record stores, from band websites. I would prefer to buy them either directly from the bands or from local record stores. But sometimes there are some really beautiful pressings at those big box stores, or sometimes Amazon's the only way to get it at a good price and get it quickly. So I've kind of gone all different ways. All right, you saw the sneak peek on this. Bruno Mars, Doo-Wops and Hooligans. This has Grenade. It's got Just the Way You Are. It's got the Lazy Song. It's got Marry You. There's some tracks there's a track that features Damian Marley. There's a track that features CeeLo Green and B.O.B. This is just black vinyl, but thicker vinyl. Feels kind of like it's 180 gram. So it might be, man, my vision is not the buenoest. All right, next after that, we've got Dave Matthews Band, specifically Under the Table and Dreaming. Now, this album has some nostalgic value for me. I used to work at a restaurant called Bennigan's this particular one I worked at was in Bedford, Texas, and I worked there for 3 years when I was in high school. On and off. I quit every year before St. Patrick's Day, and then I stayed the last St. Patrick's Day. We had a jukebox, and this was during the time when, like, Hanson and the Spice Girls were really popular, and I could not stand either of them. I had very specific musical taste, and everything else was garbage to me back then. Now I have much broader taste. But there were 3 different artists on the jukebox that I would go to if I wanted to put some music on, and I always wanted to put music on. So one was Dave Matthews Band. I really loved listening to them. Satellites on this album, Dancing Nancy's, Ants Marching, that kind of stuff, right? It wasn't actually this album that we had on our jukebox. It was Crash, which I hope to get at some point. But I did put some of these songs on at the same time. So that was one of them. And if I get the other ones, I will definitely let you know what they are when I get them. Next, we got another Dave Matthews Band. This is actually the first Dave Matthews Band album I got, which is Come Tomorrow. Pretty sure this is also on black vinyl. Pre-ordered this off of Dave Matthews' website. Now, at this point, there's a new Dave Matthews album that's coming out like this week, and I have not pre-ordered it. I haven't heard anything off of it, and so I haven't decided if I'm going to get it or not. I do like Dave Matthews Band a lot, but we will see. Next, we got John Mayer, Room for Squares. Man, I remember when my wife and I were newly married, and we listened to this album a lot. This is black vinyl. I got this at Barnes & Noble. So, Why Georgia, My Stupid Mouth, Your Body's a Wonderland, Neon, 3x5, St. Patrick's Day, some great tracks on here. This is back when it was just John Mayer and an acoustic for the most part. Yeah, enjoy it. Next, we've got McCartney 3 Imagined. So this is one actually my mom bought, and she was kind of like, it's not really my vibe, and so she gave it to me. And I'll be honest, I'm sad to say I haven't really listened to it yet, and it's not for lack of interest. It's on like a kind of gray vinyl. Probably would call it silver. It's not for lack of interest. I just need to put it on. But gotta love me some Paul McCartney, right? Next. Colin Meloy Sings Live. This, definitely black vinyl, 180 gram. This is a gatefold. I should have said that Paul McCartney was a gatefold too. So Colin Meloy, lead singer of the Decemberists, previously lead singer of a band called Tarkio. This album means so much to me. This is one I've had for a long time. It's one of my all-time favorite albums by far. And this is just some acoustic performances that Colin Meloy did for a while. It has some old Tarkio songs and some old Decemberist songs, as well as some covers on here. And I love it so, so much. One of my favorite songs of all time is the first track on here. It's called Devil's Elbow. It was a Tarkio song. Highly recommend. He has a very specific voice, and I'm here for it. I love it. So speaking of Colin Meloy Sings, and this one I'm so proud to own, it's a recently reissued. So when Colin Meloy was doing those small acoustic sets, he was also doing these cover albums. He was releasing these cover albums on CD and digitally. And so it was like Colin Meloy sings Morrissey, Colin Meloy sings Shirley Collins, Colin Meloy sings Sam Cooke, Colin Meloy sings The Kinks. And they're just covers, and they were so good. But you couldn't, there was no vinyl pressing, and if you, basically, like if you lost them, if they went away, you didn't have them anymore, So there's a really beautiful, I think, seafoam green pressing of this. I've got the black pressing. I was just so glad to have it at all. When I found out this existed, I went and searched on like some, on the internet, and I found that this was in a record store in Minneapolis called Electric Fetus, I think is the name of it. And I ordered this and had it shipped to me because I was like, I got to have this album. So I'm so glad to have that. Again, huge Colin Meloy fan. Very, very glad to have it. Next, Metallica's Black Album. So I'm not I don't want to say that. I don't want to say I'm not a huge Metallica fan. I like Metallica, and this is black vinyl. No, it's got a little smoke to it, if you can see. It's a little black, smoky, black vinyl. Anyway, I like Metallica, but like my best friend is a huge Metallica fan, and I am, I like them. But this album is one that I had, I think in 5th grade, and I really, really enjoyed this album. I was really pleased to have it. So Metallica's Black Album, yeah, gotta have it. All right, I'm gonna pause this for a second. All right, so we continue with the M's. We've got the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, When God Was Great. So gatefold, double LP. This one came out. This is kind of a COVID release, It's a great album, and I love it, but it definitely came under fire because of a music video, really more than anything. It was a music video for a song that really was protesting racism, which is the killing of Georgie Part 3. And I think that there were some, for one thing, there was like a sense that calling George Floyd Georgie was not super respectful. And we should, if I can get that back in, speaking of respectful, be respectful to me, record. But we should be respectful of the dead. But the video itself, honestly, was a little bit, there was a guy, they had someone skanking all over Boston. It just was disconnected, and it wasn't as serious as it probably should have been. But really, overall, a great album. The Final Parade is like a who's who of ska. Really love this album and love the Boss Tones. Love the music they put out. Next is Millie Manders and the Shut Up. That's the name of the band, and the album is called Telling Truths, Breaking Ties. And you may be able to tell that this is actually autographed all over the place. So this is an English band, a British band, and the album is like a mix of like ska core, like some punk elements, some hip hop. It's on red vinyl. I really love this band, and I haven't been able to follow them as much recently, or I haven't, I guess, maybe put in the effort to. But like on this album, there's just a bunch of really great tracks on here. Burnout, Silent Screams, Poor Man's Show, Panic. So really great album. Millie Manders and the Shut Up. Okay, next, this one's an interesting one because this is Millington, another ska band. Love these guys, had them on the podcast. This is actually 2 EPs, right? So it's Beat Down Generation, and then it's their sort of self-titled first EP on vinyl. It's a gatefold, but I believe it is a single LP. Let's see if... this really beautiful color. Kind of a... I think I say seafoam green too much. There's probably other shades of that. I'm not an artiste. But yeah. Really, both of those albums, great albums. Great EPs, both of them. So, highly recommend that you pick this up. If you can find it, I think it's out right now, but they've got a new album coming out very soon, and I recommend you pick that up too. Okay, so the next one, this is Andy Mineo, and this is Neverland I think it's part 2, yeah. Neverland 2. So Andy Mineo, so this is a gatefold single LP, right? Andy Mineo is a Christian rapper, incredibly talented, and I'll be honest, rap's not really my thing for the most part. Like, I like some, I'm not huge into it. Oh, this is really pretty. Man, that green color doesn't come out the same way as it looks here. But, yeah. Anyway, I'm not a huge rap fan. I like rap some. It's probably one of the genres I listen to the least. But that doesn't mean I don't like it. And especially, my son loves it. And so I've really tried to invest myself into liking rap more. But one rapper I have always loved quite a bit is Andy Mineo. This album, great album. It's got Working on It featuring Chandler Moore. It's got Been About It featuring Lecrae. Not Gun Do featuring Joe Solomon is one of my favorite tracks on here. So there's some great stuff on here, and what I really love is his albums are very personal, and they've had a huge impact on me. So, okay, next one, Meet the Monkees. Like Hey Hey We're the Monkees. That's the first track on here, right? It's also got Tomorrow's Gonna Be Another Day, Papa Jean's Blues, Last Train to Clarksville, Sweet Young Thing, Gonna Buy Me a Dog. This is an old album. It's on black vinyl. This is one that I actually got a friend of mine who is a retiring librarian. Her husband is struggling with his health, and she was getting rid of some of his albums, and so I was able to get this one, which I'm very pleased to have. Sorry about the situation, though. It's difficult. I talked about this one in my birthday haul video, so I won't talk too much about it. It's Morella's Forest Super Deluxe. It is a double LP. Well, excuse me, it's a single LP, and I'm not gonna take everything out again for the most part, but I will show you the color pressing again. Very strong green color that really matches the front of the album. This is noise pop, shoegaze. Yeah, really love Morella's Forest. Super glad to have that. Great pressing from Lawson, Ohio. Next is Maren Morris Humble Quest. This is a gatefold single LP. Maren Morris is another country musician from Texas. We get quite a few of them from here. I do really like her music, though. This is a... I almost feel like I don't have enough light in here, but I think it's just a white pressing. Maybe kind of a cream colored. Beautiful sleeve, though. Really love all the foliage. The foliage is beautiful. You know. There we go. This album has a bunch of great tracks, but really the track that I love the most on this album, if I can see with my poor eyesight, is Circles Around This Town is a really, really great track. So, Maren Morris, Humble Quest. Next, so glad to have this one. Introducing Mr. Kingpin, ska musician from here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Very loved on the ska scene. This album is dope, man. It sounds so good. Do Right By You, Lightning in a Bottle. There's a track featuring Roger Rivas, and I probably mispronounced his last name, and I apologize. Actions Speak Louder, featuring David Hilliard. Should I Stay, High Road. Good stuff. Really glad to have this one. Smooth. It just came out so smooth. And by smooth, I mean not smooth at all. Kind of a beautiful light blue, a little bit of like smoky marbling kind of in there. Whether intentional or not, I don't know. Alright, so before I destroy this through my own inability to do things, let me get that back in there. If you've not heard Mr. Kingpin, whew, you gotta listen. You gotta listen to it. It's great vibes, man, for like a weekend. Good music to put on for a cookout. Good music to put on when you're trying to pretend you're on vacation, even if you can't afford vacation. Yeah, good tracks. And I finally got it in there. Okay, the next one, Casey Musgraves. Same trailer, different park. This is an earlier album of hers. It's got Merry-Go-Round. It's got Blowin' Smoke. Keep It to Yourself. Stupid. Follow Your Arrow. Another country artist from here in Texas. This one a little bit further east than where I live. It's a black pressing. Single LP. Not much to it other than the sleeve and the... Oh, goodness gracious. But, beautiful album. I like Casey Musgraves a lot. Some people like her, some people don't. I love her. Next, MU330. More ska, Crab Rangoon. Ordered this one from Asian Man Records. And Mike Park always does a great job with his shipping. It came very well cared for. Gotta love me some MU330. And bam, transparent green, translucent green. So this is one of those bands. I mean, I like MU330. Not as familiar with them as a lot of people probably are who grew up in the scene. But this is one of those bands that like I would have, some of the new up and coming ska bands and even some of the older ska bands on. And I'd be like, so, tell me one of your favorite ska albums. And they would all mention MU330. So there you go. I'm going to pause it and grab some more. All right, now I've got a big daddy to talk about because I've got the MXPX box set. All right, if you know me real well, MXPX has been my band since I first heard them when I was in 8th grade in 1995. That's when I discovered MXPX. So I think Life in General was out, and maybe Slowly Going the Way of the Buffalo came out like the next year. I can't remember the exact year that it came out. So for me, Life in General, Slowly Going the Way of the Buffalo, my all-time favorite albums. I love pretty much everything they've ever put out. But this box set is an unoriginal vinyl production with MXPX, and it is a blessing, man, because first of all, I was looking into how am I ever going to get a copy of Life in General and Slowly Going the Way of the Buffalo, and those individual albums were selling for $180 and like $240 respectively. And I just don't drop that much money on individual vinyl albums, but I would have for those. Further, there are some MXPX albums that had never been pressed, like Panic, which we're going to see here in a minute. Actually, not Panic, excuse me, not Panic. Before Everything and After, which we're going to see in a minute here. So, this is a box set of their 10 full-length studio albums that existed at the time of the pressing. So, I will pull out all the different things that came with it and then put them back. So, it came with this beautiful book that's basically like fan letters. There's ticket stubs and stuff from all the years in there. Really cool if you're an MXPX fan to have a copy of that. Okay. First full-length album, MXPX Pokin' At Ya. This is a single opening. It's got liner notes with the lyrics. Oh, this is going to be a little hard. And it's actually got a double LP. Each LP is a split between blue and red for Pokin' At Ya. Vibrant colors, man, right? So Pokin' At Ya, their first release, they were like 15, right? There's a little note. Oh. This one's got the Pokin' At Ya punk head on the fourth side. Oh, did you see me like completely miss that? That was something. But what I love about these two is on the inserts, they've got notes from different band members about kind of their thoughts regarding the album, which is really special, being a fan of the band. That's something that you really treasure. Next album, Teenage Politics, still just a single opening. I won't take out everything because they're all kind of the same in that they have like the liner notes with the lyrics, they have the sleeves, and they have the vinyl. And double LP, the vinyl's the same kind of thing. If it doesn't go onto a fourth side, it's got a Pokin' At Ya punk head on the fourth side. Then we get to Life in General, which I maintain to this day is my favorite album of all time. This one's actually just a single LP. Purple and green. Some of these MXPX albums, they were putting 21 songs on an album. And so they get a little bit better at restraining themselves as they go on, to some degree. So slowly going the way of the buffalo. This is a lot of people's favorites. Also another one I really love. I love them all, though.
I found this on the web.
Did you now? Cream and green, excuse me. Slowly going the way of the buffalo. Then we got The Ever-Passing Moment. Bam. So a lot of MXPX here, obviously. All of these, I could sit there and go over each album, like favorite tracks, but this is already going to be a very, very long video, and I don't want to drag it out any more than I already am. So, then we've got Before Everything and After. Never pressed a vinyl before, if I'm remembering correctly. Goodness. Two different shades of blue. Then we have Panic. It's kind of like a cream color there with that green. Then we have Secret Weapon. Their return to Tooth and Nail Records after years of being away. Not a lot of people's favorite album, but there are definitely some great tracks on there for sure. Just make sure I'm in the right place here. Yeah. Keep them in the right order. Then we have Plans Within Plans. And then we have the self-titled, which to a lot of people was a return to the form that we loved the most of MXPX. Really great album. I really love all of them. Definitely have some that I'm more of a fan of than others. But it's hard not to love that self-titled return to form, like I said. So, and this box set, absolutely beautiful. I have some notion of some things that Unoriginal Vinyl has in the works, and man, I can't wait. I cannot wait. Okay, let's see. So, other stuff I still have here to show you by MXPX. How about the on the cover 10-inch? This is a bunch of cover songs. Summer '69. Oh Boy, Drum Machine Joy, You Found Me, Take On Me, Marie Marie. You Put This Love in My Heart. These are on white vinyl. It is a double LP 10-inch, which is an interesting thing. You don't really see that too often. I think it's double. It's a gatefold, obviously. Let's see. Yeah, double LP, 10-inch gatefold. Again, not a super common thing, but a very cool thing. And I'm very glad I have this. This is a little bit harder to find. This is one I bought off my friend Danny Stairs as well. I'm pretty sure. It's been so long now, though, it's hard to remember all that. Okay. Also, this is another unoriginal vinyl, MXPX Left Coast Live. Unfortunately on this one, I did get some seam splits on this because they're picture discs. It's a double LP picture disc. There's different colors on each side of the picture. So we've got green, and I really don't want to take these out, but red, and then there's like an orange, and blue. So I do love them. I'm not the. This is maybe one of the very few times. Maybe one of the very few times I'm not the biggest fan of the packaging. Pretty much everything Unoriginal Vinyl has done, I have loved the packaging. This is maybe one of the few times I wasn't a huge fan of it, but I was definitely glad to have it. Also remember being on vacation in Boston when I discovered this was going to come out, and you had to order it like right when it went on sale, and I was like waiting by the phone to order it, ordering off my phone. So, all right, then we got Mike Herrera. This is, I just kind of keep this with MXPX, but this is Moments Like These live in Texas, a little 10-inch, kind of Mike Herrera acoustic set, real pretty pressing. Also an unoriginal vinyl pressing. Real simple, but I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. And the very last thing I have in the M's, also MXPX. This was a gift from a friend named Craig Hudson. Surprised me with it and ordered it to have it sent to my house, which was such a blessing. Definitely didn't have to do that. MXPX Live in Quarantine. Life in Quarantine. This was an album. They were doing these acoustic sets live on the internet during COVID, and this is something that really kept me going. I really was so thankful that they were doing these. So it's a double LP gatefold. Lots of MXPX stuff, acoustic. The cover really a play off of Life in General, which again is my favorite album. So I loved that. I even bought the shirt for this one. And then look at this beautiful split with a splatter. Really love it. Can't remember if the second LP is this a different color split. Let me look real quick. If I can get this in. I swear this is still... You know what? I'm going to set that aside for a second so I can wrap up this video because it's been 30 minutes. Yeah, same colors. Okay. Actually, this one's like blue and clear. Okay, so that's 30 minutes of time with me, guys. That's a long time. I don't know if I have any other letters that are going to be this big. Maybe S. We'll see. I'm still going to record N tonight, but it's time to put my kids to bed and put all this stuff away. Thanks for hanging with me for the M's, guys.